I saw here in North America that our churches had ceased to be missionary churches. They had ceased to plant other churches. And God called us to begin Mission Alive to help churches plant churches.
My first encounter with Mission Alive, I still remember exactly when it was. And I was listening to this man talk about missional church planting. And that man was Galen Van Reenen. And I remember hearing Galen talk and thinking, I've got to do that.
We say that before church planting can happen, there must be a learning stage. Otherwise, we just duplicate what we've always had. And what we have always had is not good enough for the future.
We really have got to ask the question, what is the church in post-Christian, post-modern 21st century America? And then plant churches that reflect that.
In Mission Alive, there are three major tasks. First of all, we discover and equip church planters. Secondly, we provide church planter care. And thirdly, we work with churches to plant churches.
Mission Alive has a series of lab experiences, training experiences of sorts, that help church planters as they prepare for church planting.
Because we believe that ministry should move from theology to practice.
And I think coming out of that, we all felt a strong call that yes, indeed, this is what God had been preparing us for, and we were welcomed into this community with open arms.
I think the most important thing in this learning stage, though, is the coaching and the spiritual direction that begins, that then continues on into other stages in church planting.
I think that one of the hardest parts of church planting is that it can be a very lonely adventure at first. And I think that one of the important things that Mission Alive does for our church planters is to offer planter care.
Mission Alive emphasizes personal spiritual formation.
What that means is churches being planted need to be focused around the spiritual transformation of those who are participating in that church, of the Christians there, so that we don't just become a Christian and then sit in the pew the rest of our life, but we become Christians and live a life of constantly being changed to look more and more and more like Jesus.
Rather than being the pyramid or the triangle with leadership at the top.
We have to topple that triangle over so that it's pointed toward the world. It's engaging the culture.
What we're doing is very different, and because of that, the preparation that we had with Mission Alive has been extremely helpful.
Our goal is not just to plant churches, but to work with churches to plant churches.
That start churches.
That plant churches, so that in their very identity, these churches know that it is part of their job, part of their identity to reproduce. And if we can have churches that are about forming people into the image of Jesus, and then multiply those churches so that they are theologically driven, we will be glorifying God all over this country.